Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 49 coming at you with another community shoutcast for the OUSA Dota League Season 1. Just about to join in for Game 2 of Team Recursion up against Bambi Rising. Tonight I will be joined by my co-caster and mid player for Team Struggle, Brightside New Zealand. He'll be loading, he's going to be streaming from the in-game client. Lewis, can you hear me? Brightside New Zealand.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Alrighty, were you able to catch game 1 there, Brightside?
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Brightside, can you hear me? Looks like my co-caster might be having a few issues with his mic. Ooh. Try enabling open mic in the Dota 2 settings, that usually helps out a lot.
10 seconds remaining.
So Bambi Rising starting with that first ban over on the Warrunner.
Radiant team ban.
Respect ban to the fact that they were able to, that Recursion was able to play a fantastic roaming support Warrunner. It was largely negated by the fact that they had the Visage familiars. Brightside, can you hear me now? I think he's still having a few mic issues. Dude, if you jump into your Dota 2 audio settings, there's an option for open mic threshold. If you switch that to on, that usually helps out. Otherwise, you have to constantly keep pressing the mic button. And so the Bristleback is that first ban. Very strong offlane. It has tapered off a little bit with that base damage reduction, but he's an absolute pain in the ass to go against. Second ban, the Invoker. Pretty standard ban. Quas Wex Invoker is extremely strong. Quas Exalt Invoker mitigates his early game weakness, providing a huge amount of solo ganking power. With that sound strong, he can participate in ganks anywhere across the map. All he has to do is throw it out. Does pure damage now. So if he hits you with it, you're taking a lot of damage. Luna is the second ban. Respect ban up against Crash, who played a fantastic Luna. He was able to get something like 35,000 net worth by the end of the game. Picked up it went for a very greedy build. The treads into Helm the Dominator. Wasn't really punished much in lane. Despite dying a few times to Centaur Warrunner solo. Well, Centaur Warrunner first pick from Bambi Rising again. Most likely will be picked up by Mujrim over in the offlane. Brightside, have you fixed your problems in your end?
Reserve time.
Alrighty, we'll have to deal with that later on. I'm just going to quickly type something in the chat. Hang on a second. Apparently I might have screwed up my mic again. Just going to jump into Twitch to make sure.
I speak for the trees.
For Team Struggle. Okay, fantastic. So my mic is working again. Never mind. So for the Brightside's just gonna fix a few things over in his end. First pick, Nature's Prophet, usually banned out in the first or second or third ban, just because he's so annoying to deal with that split push capability. Usually operates over in the offlane as he needs that solo gold and solo EXP. Using his treants, he's able to leash the creep wave back, hold it right in front of his tower, so when his creep wave clashes again, they clash right in front of the creep wave.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, fantastic.
So far, we got some respect bans, I see. But I don't want to deal with that Luna again.
Yeah, definitely. Crash played out of his mind. He was able to get a huge amount of farm. He killed Bambi just with his glaives, so I think Bambi's probably a little bit frustrated from that. What are your thoughts on the...
Rampage.
Yeah, what are your thoughts over on the Bristleback as the first ban? Do you think he's justifiable for that first ban now?
He's pretty tough. I mean, he's been picked quite a lot. He's got such good... Like, those quills rack up a lot faster than people expect.
Yeah, definitely.
I've chosen two pretty strong offlaners already. I mean, if they want to go offlane with the Centaur or the Prophet, so certainly haven't lost out on anything. Yeah,
I think the only team that's gone for that tri-lane Centaur so far is Horsemen of the Ruckus. They don't seem to like having Centaur on the offlane. So in this case, Centaur Warrunner up against that Nature's Prophet, and a 1v1 situation, and a Necrophos. Huh, what are your thoughts on that pickup?
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, Necro, I think he's a great hero by all means, but I don't know. I haven't seen him very much. Well, interesting to see what they do with him. I mean, I think he'll be mid. I think that's the best way to play him, but I don't know. What do you? I mean, yeah.
Oh, the last time I saw him picked up was when I was casting with Yoshi, and he did not work at all. They went for a tri-lane with that Necro, and he was a support hero. He needs a lot of farm and a lot of EXP, so he's a very greedy hero. You can't play him at all as a support hero, so he could even be that mid.
Too much farm.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is with that Sadist buff buff, he can get that farm. If you have a maxed out Sadist, maxed out Death Pulse, you walk in, throw your Death Pulse, get a lot of farm that way. But he's very greedy, he does need a lot of EXP, so we could possibly see a mid Necrophos just to give him that farm, or most likely in that tri lane as the farmer though. He can't work as a support hero.
Yeah, we'll probably see something aggressive coming up from Bambi. I mean, the Centaur and the Visage really indicate that they're probably going to do something.
10 seconds.
Yeah, Bambi didn't really blow me away with his ST2 level Grandmaster micro in that last game, but he still was able to use it to great effect. I mean, the birds blocked a lot of hook shots, a lot of hooks coming out from Pudge, as well as a lot of arrows. Huge pain in the ass to deal with, just because the birds are magic immune, mostly magic immune, so they don't really care.
Yeah, and they were relying on that. They were relying on the hooks. I mean, they still won. Well, spoiler alert, they did. But I mean, you know, it still was annoying for them. But yeah, interesting to see that they banned the clockwork. I guess they're worried about the offlane.
Yeah.
Wait, we would've...
No, clockwork would go mid in this case. I'm thinking offlane Nature's Prophet, tri-lane Necrophos, and clockwork in the middle lane. Because I mean, that does open up a lot. Once he hits level 6, it's really easy for him to gank into either lane with that hook shot. Surprised Slark hasn't been picked up. Yeah, but I guess Bambi Rising aren't really confident enough in their ability to play Slark, so they left him through the draft, and now he's banned out just in case.
Didn't you say that Blink loves to ban Slark?
Yeah,
don't like dealing with him or something?
Every single game they ban him. He's the first or second ban, just because I think they played against him once in the scrim. Flash and Yoshi are telling me about this, and they just can't stand him. Because he's such a pain in the ass to deal with. If you don't immediately burst him down, he pops Shadow Dance. He says, haha, now I'm going to regen all my HP. So it walks around stabbing you.
No, I'm not surprised with these bans. They're pretty conventional for the most part. I mean, especially that Ember and the Priestess of the Moon, Miranda, Crystal and Vodka. They're all pretty hot topics right now. Yeah, the problem with the Slark, and the Weaver, the Weaver too. I mean, it's, just absolutely. The Slark, a good Slark player, which I've actually seen a few of them in the game so far.
Yep.
Can just, I mean, once you get your ultimate and your roaming potential, you can just absolutely dominate all your lanes. And I think at this level of play, we're not quite as prepared to deal with that perhaps as the pro scene. So I mean,
yeah, definitely. I mean, Ken Killer pretty much went 1v5 against SNB on the Slark, got so farmed that they couldn't kill him even though he didn't have a BKB, just walked up, tanked everything, popped his ult.
10 seconds remaining.
We got a Spectre pickup, so it looks like Necrophos might be mid, because I really don't like him in the tri-lane. He doesn't offer anything unless he's the primary farmer. Spectre I really do like.
I do like they went with a tanky sort of lineup with the Spectre, because obviously the Necrophos ideal in situations where the fight's drawn out, so rather than having sort of an instant sort of get in there and do your damage carry, they've gone with the Spectre, which is I do like that.
And once they start picking up momentum, it works really well against Centaur, Warrunner, and Visage, because they rely on being able to deal that initial burst of damage, get up in your face. One Centaur, Warrunner runs in with a Stampede, drops his Hoofstorm with his double edge, he doesn't really do anything else. So if you could tank that initial burst...
It's gonna be a good game.
Sandking and Vengeful Spirit, great support heroes. Yeah, Sandking offers so much to your team in terms of, he's got one of the best stuns in the game, Burrow Strike, 2.5 second stun, a lot of damage, also repositions yourself so you can use it to disjoint, has Sandstorm so you use it to avoid spells. And with the recent change to Sandstorm with the increase in tick duration and the amount of ticks you get per second, you have been seeing him play sort of like a Crystal Maiden. Whenever nothing's happening, walks into the jungle, uses Sandstorm to clear out creeps, get farmed that way.
10 seconds
Sandstorm
remaining.
is like the new March of the Machines. People just don't realize how damaging it is, but you get that up early level 4, and people just stand in it because they don't think it does much damage, but then suddenly your health just ticks away.
Reserve time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Sanking's a really solid hero. Like, as you said, each one of his abilities is very useful, and I'm glad that he's getting some action.
My flatmate Jamie is playing in Horseman the Ruckus. He likes playing Sandking just so he can blast the rude Sandstorm every time he presses W.
Yeah, there are mods that do that. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a cup of tea and then I'll be right back.
Alright, fantastic. So I'm just going to carry over the rest of the draft. So we've got 5th ban coming up from Recursion, dipping into a bit of the... It looks like they're going to dip into a bit of the reserve time. 4th pick with that Lifestealer. So it looks like a Lifestealer Visage as well as a Sandking. Very strong, aggressive tri-lane. The reason why this tri-lane works is purely off the fact that they have that Visage, because you have Grave Shield to set up Burrow Strike, which are the early levels in the game. Doesn't really have that great of a range. It's got 300 at level 1, builds up towards 700. Until you get that range, you need another ability to help set it up, so that's where Grave Shield comes in. That also helps set up a Lifestealer's Open Wounds, as at level 1, 200 range until it's maxed out. Very low range, means that the Visage is going to be key. He's the sole reason why the tri-lane works, is just because he helps set up the other 2 abilities coming out from the 2 melee heroes. The one drawback, though, is they really don't have they can't really trade damage just because Visage is the only ranged hero and he doesn't want to take hits because he's got 0 armor and 15% magic resistance. We've got Vengeful Spirit as well as the Silencer. Very interesting draft coming up from Recursion. Silencer as well as the Necrophos, two completely unconventional picks that you very rarely see. Necrophos, I think he's got something like a 0.2% pick rate or something in competitive games. Been picked up like maybe once or twice, once in the Blue Moon. Storm Spirit being played by 5200. So could be up against that. Silencer could be seeing Necrophos mid with a Spectre, Vengeful Spirit, and Silencer tri-lane. Nature's Prophet, they could, I guess, have a jungling Nature's Prophet, but that's a very greedy build, can be punished by early aggression coming out, especially with the fact that you have a Visage and a Sandking. These two guys, they want to roam, they want to find blood if nothing's happening in the tri-lane, or if they're up against a 1v3 situation. Brightside, you back with your tea? Alrighty, so it looks like we've got a Silencer that might be going mid. Arab King, their mid player for the last game, we played an absolutely phenomenal Pudge. He'll be heading over most likely to the middle lane. Silencer's a great mid hero just because Last Word does a lot of harass, a lot of control to the team in the lane, as well as the fact that Glaives of Wisdom enables you to throw orbs out, and since your orb attacking doesn't draw creep aggro, it means you can deal a lot of damage, also helps you CS as well. And if you're against certain matchups, such as a Viper who actually has no cast abilities, Curse of the Silent completely wrecks him, as it means he will always have 0 mana.
Alright, I'm back.
Alrighty.
That's a pretty impressive
30
lineup on the
seconds
Radiant
to
side.
battle.
I like the Storm and the Lifestealer and the Scent Lifestealer combo.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got the Nyx Bomb coming out. You also have the Stampede to help out Nyx, since he relies on getting up in your face, being able to hit you. And so this time looks like they're going aggressive tri-lane, so they want to clash tri-v-tri.
Yeah. This Prophet player has a pretty mean set. I wonder how experienced he is with Prophet.
Yeah, he's starting with the Gloves of Haste. So, not really too sure how effective that is. That's a pub build for when you want to go into the jungle.
And all.
Just so you could...
That's a cocky build. That's a I'm gonna get minus early.
Yeah, so, I mean, Centaur Warrunner can punish him from that. In this 1v1 matchup, I think I'd like to favor the Centaur Warrunner. Just because he's starting off with that Stealth Shield. He's got a higher base damage. Up in this tri-lane, though, I don't know how effective this Necrophos would be. He's got that 1 point up in Death Pulse, but Death Pulse is pretty bad as a skill until you get level 3, level 4.
Yeah. I like the Silencer in the mid. I mean, as you were saying, I do really like Silencer as a hero, and especially in the mid, but I definitely don't like the Necro support. I mean, we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, he's playing very scared and very passive right now, hanging back, perhaps a bit afraid of 5200. Haven't seen too much of him on the Storm Spirit, but I can imagine he must be pretty good at him. Spectre, I'd like to see Crash max out that Desolate. The rationale behind that is once you hit level 6, once you have Haunt, every time your Haunt illusions inherit the extra damage coming out from Desolate. So when your teammates go on a gank, all you have to do is press R. You get like a last hit through the sheer amount of Haunt damage that comes out.
I think it's the best build by far. It's definitely Desolate first.
Yeah.
Blink Dagger's alright if you got maybe like something that can make you spam it, like a Crystal Maiden or a Coddle or something. But
Burrow Strike gets her. Great place from Kury. Grave Chill. He's Spectral Dagger on his way out. With the open wounds, he's taking a lot of damage, but he should be able to make his way onto the trees. He should be fine. A lot of damage. Kish the Killer caught a bit out of position, taking a few right clicks. But that's that drawback of having those two melee heroes. Not if they had another support hero, ranged support hero, they could have gone for a few more right clicks on Necrophos, maybe brought him down. But with just Sandking, he immediately had to back away.
It was fantastic stun by that Sandking. That's a level 1 Burrow Strike. The range on that is ridiculous. 350 and he got 2 of them.
Yeah, that was great play coming out from him. Very impressive. Kury played a fantastic Rubik in the last game. Was a bit of a pity that he chose to go for a greedy build, going for that Aghanim Scepter instead of that Blink Dagger, which would have given his team a lot more utility and initiation.
I like how this tournament, it seems like there's a lot more interest than last year. Were you around for last year's tournament?
Yeah, I was playing in Jamie Please as their offlaner.
Oh, right, yeah. I think we played against them. I'm pretty sure they beat us. It feels like, I mean, I'm already getting to know some of these players, and some real talent has kind of been showing through.
Oh, definitely. It's good to see that Dunedin's Dota 2 scene's been getting bigger. I mean, there's a hell of a lot more teams this time. It's better organized. All the teams so far seem pretty friendly. Storm Spirit leading the way at 10 CS with 1 deny, really shutting down Arab King, who's been playing very passively. He's got... looks like he's maxing out Curse of the Silent. I really don't agree with this. Just because Storm Spirit is going to spam out his remnants to farm anyway, just to get those free overload procs. You want to max out that last word. Just because it gives you that extra form of damage. I guess he's just waiting until 5200 runs into mana, but with that bottle, And with the fact that he's had rune control so far, it's not really paying out for him. The issue with maxing Curse of the Sun on Silencer is against some matchups it really works, and against others it completely falls flat. So once you move into the mid game when you're going in for ganks, for TP rotations, it's hit and miss against some heroes. So you want to go for that reliable damage coming out from that last word, as well as a reliable lockdown. Spectre...
Yeah, and it really falls off, yeah, as you said, really falls off mid-game. Have really taken a strong lead, haven't they?
Yeah, Centaur Warrunner, you see the power of that double edge. He just walks up and double edges Spectre, says, get the hell back. He's forced to tank that.
They've traded lanes already. Like, the Centaur was just, I mean, the Prophet's got like, what, 5 CS? And he started with the gloves. I mean, it's really not a good start.
Yeah, you will always want to start off with that Bulldog build, which is the boots as well as a Tango. Just, and maybe like if you could get your supports to give you a ward just so you can have a safety ward in the offlane. Makes it impossible to gank. Really helps out against melee matchups like this, as it lets you trade free harass against the Centaur without him being able to hit you, since he has to run all the way up to you. If you have boots, you're moving faster than he is. 5-200 off to a dominating lead. Surprised the supports haven't rotated as well. We see that a smoke gank coming out with the Visage as well as a Sandking. They recognize there's just 2 heroes in the top lane now, Necrophos and Vengeful Spirit. It looks like Necrophos is going to take a fall. Never mind, the smoke gank pops a bit too early. Kury uses Sandstorm to give the 1.5 second invisibility fade time. Bambi the retarded unicorn taking a lot of damage from those creeps with 0 armor. Attacks do a lot more damage. He's forced to use Gravejaw just to run away.
Tower is under attack.
That's down for level 1
that's got to
stance.
hurt.
I mean, Barrage, you just can't do anything with it.
Yeah, you have to...
You're in a really good position.
That's why Crystal Maiden works so well with Sandking, because you got that 900 range Nova to help set it up. Or even someone like a Venomancer with that Gale. Bambi Rising winning all their lanes quite decisively. They're leading the CS scoreboards with Centaur Warrunner at 27 for 17. He's going to get a very fast Blink Dagger. In fact, if he chooses to rush in 400 gold, he has a Blink Dagger.
That's crazy. He's doing very, very well.
Surprised at allowing Spectre to go 1v1 against that Centaur Warrunner, as once he picks up Tranquil Boots, you can just spam out the double edge. There we go. Vengeful Spirits rotating in, just to provide a bit of safety so Centaur Warrunner can't completely bully Spectre out of the lane. He's picked up Boots now, yeah.
Recursion's responding well. I'm glad they've responded. I mean, they were losing all 3 of their lanes decisively, as you said, and at least now they've rotated. It looks like Silence is coming in for maybe something, a gamble at take on the Centaur.
Yeah, I don't know how effective he'll be with that Curse of the Silence, though, as Centaur only has 2 spells. Both of them cost very low mana. He'll most likely pop that Stampede to run away. They don't have enough lockdown just with the Vengeful Spirit. And that's just wasting time. Stampede drop, looks like they're turning around. Arab King eats the Stampede to the face. That's Snare. Pops the Global Silence though. Drops the Hoof Stomp by the Silence, but last one. Great play. 3-man's Impale coming out from Kury. Vengeful Spirit goes down to that Soul Assumption. Crash is about to go down. Never mind, he's able to juke his way through with that unit walking. Arab King takes a fall. Double kill from Storm Spirit. And it actually looks like a disconnect coming out from 2 of their players.
That Sandking is amazing. This guy was...
Kury, yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, great play. I mean,
3-man.
That Silence was on point. That Silence was great. It disrupted this into it amazingly, but then just that stun just ruined them.
Hit all 3 of them, turn what could have been maybe a 1-for-1 into a 1-for-2, almost a 1-for-3. Spectre just barely gets his way under there. Surprised Storm Spirit chose not to zip zap out through the trees to hit him off, but he didn't have mana for that. But with that double damage rune, is able to smack down both the Vengeful Spirit as well as the Silencer. We've got 2 disconnects coming up from Recursion. Not too sure what's happening on their end.
I don't know if it played a huge role in that fight. I mean, it might have, but they seemed like once that stun had gone off that they were going to lose it anyway.
Yeah, definitely. That 3-man Burrow Strike really turned that fight for them. Amazing play coming out from Kury. His Rubik is also very on point, so good to see that although people say that Bambi Rising is a very limited hero pool, they play their heroes to perfection. Just going to do a quick golden EXP check. 1000 EXP in favor of Bambi Rising and about 1500. So EXP lead is more important at this stage of the game, as it means that your support heroes, if they get level 6 before your supports do, you're in for a rough time. Sandking's going to hit his level 4, so probably getting that second point up in Sandstorm just to reduce the cooldown and increase the damage. Visage, level 4 now, so he'll most likely be picking up a point, that Gravekeeper's Cloak. Wants to hit that level 6, so he has those buds. 5-200, level 7 now. He's going for the pretty standard Storm Spirit build. 1 point up in the Remnant, 3 in the Overload, so that your Overload, so that your Static Pulsary pulls them into the Remnant, so the Remnant explodes. You get that guaranteed damage coming up from the Remnant, and then choosing to max out Overload for the mana efficiency.
Yeah. So was Recursion the die last time as well?
Yeah, they were dire last time.
Right. See. How did that game start? Because I wasn't there for the beginning, but certainly Bambi's taking a great start.
It actually started off really unfortunately for Bambi Rising. They had both the Rubik as well as the Visage hiding right here in the middle lane, waiting for Pudge. But the entirety of Recursion had smoked up together. And so Bambi revealed himself a bit too early, revealed himself into 3, ate a point blank arrow to the face, ate a frostbite, went down. And so the ball started, I think that shot their confidence because they were a bit afraid to roam out after that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Recursion can play from behind, as they seem like they'll have to, at least in the early game.
Yeah, that greedy Nature's Prophet pick, especially with the fact that he's jungling, really could turn around to bite them in the ass. He decided to immediately sack the offlane. I mean, he's almost got his Midas now, so he'll have like a 7-minute Midas, which is good. But if a rotation comes out from Visage and Sandking, if they decide to go on him while he's in the jungle, Nature's Prophet can't really do anything to escape.
Yeah, if Bambi keeps capitalizing on these early engagements, they will get themselves more and more of a lead. I mean, it looks to me as if Spectre might be considering a Midas as well, just given that she's got, 1.1k saved up.
Yeah, that's a very greedy build coming out from Spectre. Spectre's probably one of the few carry heroes that you usually don't want to get a Midas on unless you're absolutely certain that your team can carry you through that stage, because it makes you very vulnerable to ganks. Just because, I mean, unlike Anti-Mage who has that blink, unlike Luna who just deals a sheer amount of damage and can scare people off with the Lucent Beam as well as the Eclipse, unlike even Juggernaut who has the Blade Spin and the Omni Slash, Spectre all he really has is Dagger. So you really want to get early phase boots up, or even just naked boots to make sure you can run away from ganks. You want to build, if you want to rush that relic, that's fine, just make sure you pick up boots first and the stout shield. I think that the Midas pickup, especially with Nature's going for one as well.
To see how they handle the lineup for the Radiant. I mean, that Necro pick, I mean, I don't know. The ultimate will be good to lock down and kite the Lifestealer, but apart from that, I can't see too much.
Yeah, Lifestealer kind of wrecks Necrophos, because all he has to do is pop Rage. You can't really do anything to him. If he's forced to blow the ult just for the 1.5 second lockdown, he's more than happy for that. He's got 6 seconds in Rage. And Lifestealer really can punish the Spectre pick, because he's the exact opposite of Spectre. Spectre wants to wait until she gets a few big items, and then starts to head off. Lifestealer wants to fight with as few items as possible, just with phase boots, just with drums. He could cause so much damage.
Yeah, he really comes online a lot earlier than Spectre and Prophet, so, I mean, if they drag it late enough, then maybe, but, Radiant also has a great team fight all game, especially if that Sandking keeps up with those on-point stuns.
Yeah, another thing that we haven't really talked about is the fact that Stampede from the Centaur Warrunner helps out the Sandking until he gets his Blink Dagger, because it gives him max movement speed. He can run in, make sure that he has that movement speed to angle those Burrow Strikes to get another 2-3-man Burrow Strike. Once you throw in the Epicenter on top of that Stampede.
Yeah, they just got so much initiation on Radiant, especially with the Lifestealer. You put the Lifestealer in the Sandking, Storm, or the Centaur. You pop the Centaur ult, you ball in with the Storm, or you just blink in with the Sandking, and you've just, that's their team gone.
Yeah, hyper aggression.
Initiation, right? Which I think they will. I mean, with the options, then what can Recursion do?
The one good thing with this, though, is the fact that they do have that silencer, so he can completely shut down the initiation coming out. Whenever he has the Stampede go off, all he has to do is press R. He can catch Bambi out in a really bad situation. Yeah, definitely.
Hadn't been so good, that fight was going the other way, so that was a great, it was a good draft by whoever is the captain of Recursion.
Excellent counterpick, but unfortunately for him, Kury was able to land that huge 3-man Burrow Strike, completely turn it around. Looking forward to see what he can do once he gets his ult, once he gets his Blink Dagger. So it looks like everyone's reconnected, and we're just going to restart. What do you think Recursion should be doing right now?
If they're going to go for their Midas heavy build and their greedy lineup, then definitely just Turtle. So they've already, I think they're doing quite well in the sense that they've warded here.
Yeah.
Wards everywhere. They're going to farm their jungle, get that initial gold, and then maybe try to do something once it goes into the mid game. But I really don't
Radiant's
know.
top tower is under attack.
What do you think?
Well, what I'm thinking is the fact that they have that Necrophos, if they maybe had like an Abaddon or even a Dazzle, I could see them turtling, because you have that Abaddon Aphotic Shield, you have the Mistgall, you have the Shallow Grave, as well as the Weave to help your turtle fights. and fight 4v5. Make sure it's difficult for them to get kills on you. But with Necrophos, you can't really do that because he's really greedy as well. This is like an alliance level draft in terms of greed.
Yeah.
He can't really accomplish all too much until he's level 7. You want mech up on Necrophos. You want that ultimate online. You want those points up in Sadist, because otherwise he gets off one Death Pulse and then he's out of mana once he throws out his ult.
Yeah, I think it's more going to depend on Bambi pushing this early game lead they've got now than Recursion. I mean, it's all up to how they respond to that.
Yeah, if they capitalize on their early lead, which it looks like they might, because they have a very strong early game lineup. Yeah, 5200 has been completely dominating Arab King at a lane on the Storm Spirit. Once he picks up something like an early Orchid, he can completely start balling out of control, jumping in, killing people, jumping right the hell out. Centaur Warrunner about 900 gold away from his blink. If he manages to get maybe a kill, he's got his ultimate online, so they're looking maybe to go over on Crash. Kury's hanging around. He's out for blood. He knows he can do this. Good to see Spectre is choosing to max out that Desolate. Just gonna scare them out a little bit with that illusion.
Under attack. I feel sad for them.
Looks like we'll see an engagement. Yeah, this is what Bambi should be doing. Controlling
Yeah.
towers, diving.
Especially with that Visage, just to follow up the initial burst damage of that Soul Assumption. It's that final fuck you to finish you off before you could even do anything.
Yeah. Particularly since they outlevel them quite a bit. I mean, all the supports are low.
Radiant's
and
bottom tower is under
the
attack.
Spectre isn't even 6 yet either.
We got that 8-minute Midas coming out from Nature's Prophet, but he can't really do anything. We've got Sandking flying as well as Ball Lightning. Arab King drops his silence. Caught way in position though. Kury is waiting until the silence wears off so he can get that Burrow Strike. Taking a lot of damage. Eats that magic missile to the face. 5200 goes down to the Vengeful Spirit. A lot of damage over in him. Nature's Prophet TP's in. Haunt goes out from Spectre. This is huge for Recursion. Centaur Warrunner almost goes down, limping away, crashing around at low HP as well. Bambi's out for blood, throws out that Grave Chill, didn't have enough for that Soul Assumption. Magic Missile over on Kury. Kury turns around, he's whacking him. He's going mano a mano. Goes down in the end, didn't have enough HP.
Wow, what a good fight for the Recursion there.
Yeah, wow, did they lose anyone during that fight? Looks like they killed Arab King.
They did. Yeah, they lost the silencer. That Nature's Prophet ultimate did a lot of damage in the beginning. And then the silence just called them out. Like, Bambi was just grouped up here.
Yep.
You know, they just couldn't do anything about it.
That silencer ult completely turning it around as they were forced to continue chasing, put themselves way out of position. 5200 wasn't able to use his ult to disjoint the Vengeful Spirit magic missile coming out from him. They'd already eaten a lot of damage from that Wrath of Nature. Great play coming out from Recursion.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. It has no arms to defend itself.
And it looks like Spectre chose to go Treads. What are your thoughts on Treads versus Phase over on Spectre?
What denied?
I think either work. So I think Treads would make her way more tanky, and that's kind of good with the Necrophos and things like that. But
Yep.
I mean, either a good pickup.
That's definitely true. You do...
With this Lifestealer build as well, although I do like the
Stampede as well as Grave Chill. Looks like a switch target over to the Vengeful Spirit. She was able to get a magic missile out. Burrow Strike up from Kury as well as a Soul Assumption. They need one more last hit. There we go. That double edge comes out. Necrophos also caught out of position now. Bambi's enough for one more Soul Assumption. Ball Lightning zips on and catches out Arab King. He doesn't have his silence now, so he's completely useless. Waiting for that Soul Assumption. Doesn't have enough mana. 5200 burned all of his mana with that Ball Lightning, so they're unable to follow through. It looks like 5200 might actually go down just from the right clicks coming out. Using Bolt Charges, actually having a little bit of lag. Grave Chill keeps him alive. Silence flies out way too late. Kury's joining the fight. He two shots Necrophos. Never mind. Pops that open wounds. Get that last hit in. Spectre able to get a triple kill in the back end. She's now going toe to toe with Kury. Kury drops the Infest Bomb. Arab King backing away.
That's where you go Desolate.
Oh my god.
So much damage to the Storm.
Haunt plus Desolate, just 2 OP, just completely tore a path through them. It's a free relic worth of damage, and it's pure damage as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't even know why they're winning these fights. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, the net worth is just skyrocketed back into their favor.
Yeah, it's astounding.
Should really do something about that.
I would have thought that Spectre would have gone down for sure. Diving against 3 heroes, against the tower as well. Looks like Bambi Rising really did start to throw away the early lead. The EXP is now dipping in favor of the Dire side. That's never a good thing. Gold is still in their advantage for now. Good to see that Kury's going for that conventional, tried and true Lifestealer build, maxing out open wounds, going for phase boots, going for the armlet. This is the Lifestealer that we used to remember. None of this treads, none of this maxing feast bullshit. You go in for the early mobility and that early ganking power.
Once
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
it's going to be really
It has
good.
no
I mean,
arms to
because
defend itself.
when Bambi charges them with their great initiation,
Yep.
Dire's
the
middle
weak
tower
and
has fallen.
the heal can
Timber!
just, you know, get Recursion back in the fight,
Mm,
then it'll ruin the initiation.
definitely. Looks like Centaur Warrunner's just picked up his Blink Dagger. So that could be that critical factor, because they just haven't been able to catch somebody out with that Centaur Warrunner. He hasn't really been too effective, because when he's running in, you could drop that Silencer ult, and even if he does stampede them, he can't drop any of his spells. Looks like a Caustic Finale point over for Sandking. So he's gone for the 3-1-1 build. Bit interesting he's chosen to go for that Caustic Finale, usually indicative of Sandking going for more of a farming role. I mean, otherwise you want to max out that Sandstorm just to reduce the cooldown. Although, I guess with the fact that it gives you that 1.5 second invisibility once you break it at all levels now, instead of scaling. Stampede, they're going over on Necrophos, diving in deep. He goes down to the sheer amount of damage. Vortex, Stomp, and Double Edge. Great plays coming out from Bambi.
They're going to trade towers though. It was a good response to Recursion pushing the block.
Yeah, definitely. They're recognizing that
Top tower has fallen.
they can't fight this, and it looks like they're going to defend this, or at least attempt to. Global Silence, as well as a Curse of Suns. Bambi's taking a lot. 5200 Bambi's taking a lot of damage. He might actually go down to that Haunt damage. That's that power, that Desolate. If Crash jumps in right now to that last illusion, which he has,
Bottom tower has seen
throws out that Spectral Dagger, goes in for that Electric Vortex. They're turning it around. Crash is a bit too far forward. They get a kill over and Crash. They trade the Storm Spirit for the Crash. They're more than happy for that. Ghoulie taking a lot of damage. He's out of mana. He's been controlled by that Silencer. Eats that pure damage glaive to the face. Bambi turning around. No, he was able to get that last click. In the end, looks like Creeps took him down. 4 for 2. I don't know how Recursion are able to win these fights.
Bambi should not have gone on there. They'd blown all their ultimates. Well, at least the Stampede up top.
Hmm.
None of them were, you know, they shouldn't have gone in, and they got punished for it. Even though this, well, I don't know if they, like, I don't know if we can say they overextended because it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
His bottom tower
I
is
guess it's the
under attack.
fact that the Centaur TP'd in with half mana. He was immediately burned out by the Curse of the Silence, so he was contributing nothing to that fight besides a few right clicks. Storm Spirit had no mana and TP'd in. He was low HP as it is.
Bottom tower has seen better days.
Yeah, the Center's hanging at the back, and that's not, like, at this stage of the game you want your Center to be in their face, stomping.
Pretty much. He's an annoying pony. If he's not up in their face, he's not really accomplishing all too much. Interesting to see as well, he chose to go for a point in return instead of maxing out Hoof Stomp immediately. I guess that was in that 1v1 matchup when he was against that Nature's Prophet. Helped him control the lane. He is going for that mechanism though, so once he has that, they'll significantly give him a huge burst of teamfight power. Just because you have that mech heal to help sustain them in these fights. Because that's what seems to be happening, is that Desolate damage with that Haunt when they run away. Too much to bear. Spectre going for the Diffusal build. Almost got it about 2/3 of the way.
I don't know if the Radiance could have been a better pickup just with, but well, I mean, what do you think?
I guess the idea behind it is they know that Bambi are going to always force these early fights, so I guess Spectre's worried that she's not going to get the space all the time to farm up that relic. Because if you kill the Spectre off before she gets a relic, it really shuts her down. 5-200 might get called out. Last word, Global Silence drop just to counteract him. With that last word, he's going to go down.
Time.
Great play coming out from Recursion, recognizing that's as Storm Spirit was called out of position. Ghoulie turns around, throws out the open wounds. He has Armlet now, but he's going 1v4. He doesn't want to deal with this. He should TP on home.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Not so radiant anymore.
He's going
it turns out.
interrupted by Necrophos' ultimate. Unfortunate.
They're taking a big ultimate just took top as well. This is, yeah, it's pretty good. They're back in the game soon. They're leading now, aren't they?
Yeah, the greedy pickup of the Nature's Prophet was not punished. In terms of gold, they're completely even now, but 5,000 EXP lead, that's more significant.
Come to me.
Sandking hasn't had a chance to be at the epicenter in these fights at all, just because of that Global Silence and Curse of the Silent burning out all his mana. Great plays coming out from the Silencer. Arab King's single-handedly able to turn these fights around just by shutting down Bambi's initiation. He's going for Orchid of Malevolence, very strange pickup on the Silencer.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Usually you want something like a Force Staff, just to give him...
Go
Yeah,
wrong.
I guess it's mostly a counter pickup against that Storm Spirit.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Mech up on Necrophos.
Dagger on anti-mage. When would you not put the dagger on anti-mage?
Blink and slam an anti-mage, huh?
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with the silence. I mean, I find silence a bit underrated at the moment, and it just shows that even with his not so good start compared to the Storm, he was still like entirely useful. Like his spells, his global silence, he could still do everything he needed to do, even without the farm.
I was
like a lot of the reason why Recursion's coming back so hard.
Yeah, we got a smoke gank coming up from Bambi. I was just fascinating that how Silencer was beaten so badly by Storm Spirit in terms of lane CS. Because I mean, you've got that last word to start. You've got the glaives. You have superior range. I'm actually surprised he allowed 5-200 to bully him out. Blink, zip, soul assumption. Vengeful Spirit goes down. Death pulse, but caught up by the vortex. He takes a fall. Bambi goes down as well. Fight has been split up by that haunt. Mujrim running away. Arab King taking a lot of damage. Sandking running around, but silenced up. There isn't all too much he could do. Arab King goes down, but looks like Kury's going to go down as well. Ghoulie runs away. 2 buybacks coming up from Bambi Rising. They want revenge. They want to make sure they get this kill back. 5-200. Waste all of his mana zipping into that fight. Yeah, unable to catch out Crash. Wasted buybacks coming up from Bambi.
Misplayed buybacks. I'm really interested in both Storm and Silencers. They're both going for the... Well, it looked like they were both going for the Orchid.
Yeah, it makes more sense on Storm Spirit. Just because it's ultimate, you want to build mana regeneration to counteract, to be able to sustain your ultimate. Well, the Silencer, it's a bit unusual because you usually want survivability on him. You have all the damage and utility from your spells. Interesting to note, he's already stolen 18 intelligence.
I mean the Prophet and the Silencer. So
oh, wow.
2 Orchids on their team. The Silencer and the Prophet.
On top of the global silence, my god, how many silences do you need?
I don't know. I mean, so far.
It's not a terrible DPS pickup on Nature's, just because he's an intelligence hero as well, so he does get the damage from the intelligence, and the attack speed and mana regeneration is nice. I guess it enables him to solo gank a bit more, since he could get that soul burn to the damage amplification from that, throw out a few of his right clicks. Orchid's Malevolence is an okay DPS item. On intelligence heroes, not the best, but not completely terrible either. Would have maybe liked to see something like a Shadow Blade on him, but I guess this provides his team a bit more utility.
Yeah, if he's going rat, certainly, but I'm not sure. I'll have to see how it works out. I haven't seen, multiple Orchids before. Well,
yeah. 3,000 gold lead in favor of Recursion, 5,000 gold lead. They need that Blink Dagger on that Sandking. Sandking has been... Kury's been playing a fantastic Sandking, but the global silence from the Silencer shuts him down so badly. It just turns him into a melee creep in these fights. Bad luck with that ward placement. Sentry was placed there defensively, and looks like they're going to be able to de-ward that. They do see the Vengeful Spirit Halaterra though, so they know that she's hanging around.
These teams have been good with the warding as well.
Phase, drums, and armlet picked up.
Pointing out the supports, both teams have been playing really well.
Yeah, they've definitely been the deciding factor in these fights. It's a bit of a pity that Bambi Rising got outdrafted with that Silencer pickup. Really enabled them to go for this greedy build.
It was still risky. I mean, Silencer, he isn't played that much. I think he's definitely worked out so far. I don't think Bambi. I don't know what they were doing there. I don't like. Both of them seem to be cluttered up. They're used to this fast pace. They're looking for the next engagement.
Kury goes in, throws out that burst strike, immediately sandstorms to destroy. It's actually caught up with a Vengeful Swap. Stampede's thrown out as well as the last word. Global silences drop. Birds are hanging around, doing a bit of damage, but they're silenced up as well. Arab King taking a bit of damage. He gets a kill over on Sandking. That guaranteed 300 damage proc. Zip Zap in from Storm Spirit. Soul Assumption not thrown out yet. Curse Silence dropped again. Double Edge. Soul Assumption drops on. Silencer bringing him down. Crash goes in, perhaps a bit too far. Ghoulie's out for blood. Is silenced up with that Orchid. Eats a magic missile to the face. Crash is going to turn back around. He's got the Fusel Blade up. He knows he can go mano on mano. Centaur, Warrunner, and Knights on the run. And that's that power of that global silence.
Yeah, they can't do anything. They just have to back up. Prophet's finishes Orchid, which would also be a great help in fights. And the Silencer's already stolen 20 intelligence. That's, an intelligence limit just about.
Yeah, he's hitting extremely hard with those glaives. You saw how quickly Sandking melted there with that Curse of the Silence. Last one, just 2 glaives thrown up from him. He hasn't had a chance to drop a single epicenter, because even if he's channeling it, if Silencer sees him channeling it, or even thinks he's channeling it, all he has to do is press R. Doesn't have to be anywhere around him. Really shuts down the Sandking, as well as the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, his ult is so simple. It's just R. And even though Bambi has such a pick-off orientated lineup, he can still just, you know, it's very hard for them to get enough duns to take him down.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they're telegraphing their moves, because when you hear the Stampede go off, you can immediately press R. When you see the ball lightning zip towards you, you can hear it even if you don't see it. You just press R. You just assume they're going in on you, which is true the majority of the time, as you're the highest priority hero on your team at the moment. And so it's so easy for Bambi Rising to give away the fact that they're initiating over on the Silencer. What they need to do is rely on that Blink Dagger to get that silent initiation off. Maybe have Centaur Warrunner run up, blink, get a stomp off on Arab King, and bring him down before he gets his ult off. Then they're able to win these fights. But with Yasha picked up on Spectre, as well as that Diffusal Blade, Crash is starting to reach that point of no return, which is just going to do too much damage to be stopped. Interesting to see if she chooses to go for a Manta Style as her next big pickup, or just has a value Yasha for the movement speed and the attack speed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Manta's certainly very powerful. I like Manta, but I mean, she could always go for something more tanky. I don't know.
Because it propagates both Desolate as well as the Diffusal feedback. So incredibly powerful. Looks like Next Prophet TP's in. Is actually misplaced swaps, but with that last word with the Wrath of Nature, he goes down. Centaur Warrunner blinks into the silence, so he can't do anything. He's forced to run away. Sandking picks up his Blink Dagger, so that could be a huge pickup for him. Nature's Prophet disconnects once again, and Recursion and grouping up for a push. We'll be seeing. Yeah, there's the ban. There's the pause, sorry. But with that global.
Yeah, maybe you'll be able to think about what to do next. I mean, I don't know. Do you think they should?
I think the Dark Side should back away immediately, just because they don't want to push into a Sandking with a Blink Dagger in the epicenter. Maybe they think Sandking doesn't have the Blink Dagger, sorry. Because if they get called out, or maybe they could just face tank it with the Necrophos Death Pulse as well as the mech. The Necrophos pickup really wasn't punished at all. I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. Interesting to note, the Necrophos actually only has 1 point in status. Choosing the max out Heartstopper Aura, I usually like to see 1 point in the Heartstopper, then max out status, just because Heartstopper Aura doesn't scale as well as status does, and the fact that it gives 10 times the amount of regen if you kill a hero, which you're guaranteed to do with your ult. If they die during the 1.5 seconds your ult's on them, you are credited with the kill. That HP and mana regen can be huge, as it enables you to get off another Death Pulse, keeps you alive for a bit longer, makes you a hell of a lot harder to bring down these fights. Just gonna take a quick drink of water. Alrighty, we're back into the game. Yeah, it looks like the Dire side are backing out. They're gonna push that Roshan advantage in the fact that they're on the Dire side, and I reckon they should go for Rosh.
Their silence is going to be doing a lot of damage if he keeps staying in these fights and gathering some intelligence.
Yeah, I'd like to see a BKB picked up on Silencer after that Orchid, because he doesn't need to build damage. He's getting all the damage he needs from the Radiant side.
Yeah, no, for sure. BKB would be a great pickup. He had a pretty slow start, but and yeah, as I said, I mean, his main weakness is going to be getting picked off early.
Invisibility Rune, but he's called out. Never mind, he breaks that Invis, is called out by that Hoof Stomp, swapped up an Vengeful Spirit, Ball Lightning in. He doesn't have his ult. Sandking channeling Epicenter in the background. Jumps in, gets that huge super Epicenter. Necrophos ult flies out, Stomp Spirit, doesn't bring him down. He goes down. Huge plays coming up from Bambi Rising as they take a 3-for-none fight. And that looks like a free tattoo.
What were they doing? I mean, they just got caught out. What? I think their silencer, he broke it.
Yeah, he clicked the creep and broke invisibility, even though they had Sentry Vision on him. So
it's good. I mean, Bambi saw the opportunity.
Huge misplays coming out from Recursion. Bambi immediately punishing them. This is what we like to see. Interesting note in the top lane, Nature's Prophet is doing some split pushing over in the top lane. Nature's Prophet zips in, but without Orchid Malevolence, he can silence him and then just TP on home. Bambi wishes he had his birds, but he was using them over in mid. Great plays coming up from Bambi Rising. They're going to be able to deny this tattoo tower. You see Bambi pinging out.
I was going to say it was 1 on 161, but they left the catapult at it.
Radiant's top tower was killed by its own forces.
Storm Spirit, forced to go for that BKB as his first item. You really never want to do this as a Storm Spirit. You want to go for Orchid as your first big item, but in this case, just because of the global silence, just because of the fact that they have 2 Orchids up in their team, you need that BKB to ensure that you actually can throw out your spells. So, good item pickup from 5200.
Yeah, he's surviving. He's not going to be anything, you know. He's already been on health and almost partner. So, it is a thing that he went at.
Brightside,
Yeah, thank you, but he's not going to be able to do.
you're cutting out a bit.
But he's not going to have any effect.
You were cutting out a bit during that last part. Could you repeat what you're saying?
Yeah, you're cutting out as well. Is that me or you?
I think it's me. The internet has been spiking a bit over on my end. So that's.
Yeah. No, you're better now. Are you with? Yeah, I'm with Orcon as well. I think.
Yeah, I think during peak times we got a lot of pings flying out. It's an illusion. Oh, they invest the hoof stomp. Bad.
There's the Omni Splash on the creep that happened in that game.
Yeah.
Which is. It's always good. I mean, it's always you can do a lot with illusion runes.
Oh, definitely. So long as you act as if it's a hero, the enemy team will believe it is.
Yeah.
We see Spectre picked up a BKB. Very interesting pickup on the Spectre. I can't recall the last time I actually saw a BKB picked up on him. It makes sense in the sense as the majority of damage coming out from BR at this moment is magical damage. The only physical DPS that they have right now is just that Nikes. I mean, Storm Spirit does a lot of physical DPS as he builds up items, just because of the fact that he's an intelligence-based hero and all those items tend to give him intelligence. And Centaur Warrunner does a decent amount because he has such high strength gain. But other than that, great defensive pickup.
Yeah. There's a lot of BKBs. I don't know. Well, Sanking's probably going for an X, which means that the BKB would it's an opportunity by Spectre to pick up a BKB. The Prophet's miles ahead in the farm. He's almost got his scythe. In fact, he's got it if he.
I'd have to disagree with you with Sandking going towards Aghanim. I'd like to see a BKB on Sandking because he recognizes that Silencer can press R and make him completely relevant. If he has that BKB, he's guaranteed to get his ultimate off, guaranteed to get 1 or 2 burrow strikes.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. And also with the BKB, if he did rush a BKB, I would shake my head because you know, Veil is by far the better build because you get more damage.
Because you're amplifying your team's magic damage as well, which is the important part.
Yeah, I didn't think of the BKB on, like I was still thinking it's an odd pickup, but you're right. If it avoids that global silence, then it's money well spent.
Yeah, I mean, BKB is an item that people really don't seem to like building for whatever reason. I guess because it doesn't give you damage, but the way I like to see it is it gives you 10 seconds of God mode, but they can't touch you. So you can do all the damage in the world during those 10 seconds.
Well, I mean, certainly carry's essential, but then whenever it's built on a sort of a support like Sandking, it's always a question of, is there something else? Because it's quite expensive on on a support. Or no, he's certainly going for it now.
Yeah. It's just the fact that Sandking is so much of their damage right now. There's Burrow Strike as well as Epicenter. He's contributing a huge amount to these fights. They really rely on this Epicenter to win these fights. Like you saw over in the mid lane, his Epicenter completely melted in 2 heroes that were still alive when it dropped.
And the stun.
Because I mean, for Bambi Rising, he's the only reliable stunner they have. They do have the Vortex coming out from Storm Spirit, but that places him at risk. Centaur Warrunner has to run up and get right up into your face.
This is a great ward by Recursion here. It's going to be an engagement.
Invisible Spectre moving in. Magic Missile disjointed by the blink. Global Silence drop. Swap out. Swaps the wrong target. Centaur Warrunner taking a lot of damage. He's going to take a fall with one last slice from Spectre. Actually, Silencer gets that with that last word. They get
reactions from the Centaur. But yeah, Bambi definitely should not have taken those Ancients without de-warding first.
Definitely, but if they choose to capitalize the advantage right now, the only ultimate they have online is the Spectre Horn. I think Bambi should group up and try to go for a pick-off right now, because that global silence is critical to Recursion success.
Yeah, I don't know why Recursion hasn't prioritized Roche yet. I mean, I think they've had a few opportunities where they could have gotten some Roche. Sweet Roche Aegis.
I would like to see the Aegis of Immortal actually on the Silencer, because Spectre with a BKB is pretty much untouchable at this point. I don't think they can bring it down, especially with a 10-second BKB. Once it goes down to about 4 seconds, maybe they can start bringing it down then, once Kury picks up something like an Abyssal Blade or a Cranium Basher. But Silencer right now is the cornerstone to their team. If he goes down before he could drop his ult, that's when things go bad.
But then again, if he does get to drop it, and then he's got the Aegis, he's not nearly as useful. But
That-
it does ensure that he gets it off.
But in this sense, he's outputting so much DPS with the Orchid.
Magnetic snipe.
Roshan has fallen to the battle.
Nice try by Bambi, but wasn't able to quite do it in the end. He might actually feed those familiars with that pure damage coming up from Silencer. Oh, and they're home free.
No, they've got away.
Good micro coming out from Bambi.
And they're still dewarding, so it's good recursion play with the scores there.
Yeah, definitely. They're making
Paid
sure...
off Necrophos, but I mean he's certainly done alright.
Well, I guess the one advantage that Necrophos gives you in fights
Intelligence
is...
fortified.
Him and Spectre both function the same way. It's a you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you don't target Necrophos, he's able to get his mech off, he's able to get his ult, he's able to throw out death pulses. If you do focus him, he's hard to bring down with that mech and with the death pulses, so unless you get a perfect rotation, or immediately burst him down. In which case, you're committing all these stuns that and abilities you could have used on their Spectre. So it's drawing fire away from their Spectre, because they're choosing most fights to ignore the Necrophos at their peril. Because he's able to throw out those death pulses and keep his team alive and do that AoE damage. And so I guess it's a greedy pickup.
Recursion's so aggressive.
Yeah, they're pushing forward. They want to capitalize
So aggressive. So much map control.
their power right now. Because, I mean, Ghoulie, he's got a good amount of farm. He's about 2k off his Abyssal Blade. That'll enable him to go toe-to-toe with the Spectre. But the thing with the Lifestealer is you always have to have one item ahead of the enemy carry. You can't go toe-to-toe with a hard carry unless you have an item advantage. Just because he has such a strong early game, he doesn't really scale as well to the late game as other carries. Dire side backing off there.
Doesn't, sorry?
The Lifestealer. He's kind of like the Viper in the sense that you always have to be one item ahead of the other carry.
He does do pretty well, but you're right. I mean, not against someone like Spectre. Spectre will just own him late game.
Yeah, because the primary power to Spectre is the fact that she could immediately harass out your backline. With her ultimate, she could choose to zip around, kill off the heroes in the back end, then turn around and kill your carry. Lifestealer has to get up in your face. He has to commit himself to it if he has to do that. Spectre can choose to haunt in or choose not
I
to.
like what these supports are doing. You know, they're being, I mean, the dire supports, they're being pretty self-sufficient. Sorry, I was going to take a phone call.
Yep, no worries. And so yeah, we've seen him clearing out the Ancients, making sure that even though they have a pretty greedy pickup, Vengeful Spirit, she's a very selfless support. She doesn't need all too much to get the ball rolling. All she really needs is levels to be effective and maybe a pair of boots. So the fact that she's able to babysit and help out Necrophos, who's a lot greedier. It looks like he's going for that Hood of Defiance. He wants to build a pipe for his team, help mitigate that damage coming up from that epicenter. Arab King, farming fantastically. He chose to go phase boots, which is a bit unusual. Usually you see the treads over in Silencer because he scales well in terms of DPS. Oh, pardon me. He scales well in terms of DPS, but he just doesn't have the attack speed. With the fact that he has that Orchid of Malevolence, he has all the attack speed he needs from that. So in this case, he wants that positioning as well as the mobility coming up from phase. Gives him another way to be able to help chase orb walk people down. However, keep in mind that instantly you throw out an orb, your phase ends as any spell cast or item part cast during the phase walk immediately cancels it. And so that's something to keep in mind, but it can enable him to catch up and pick off stragglers. BKB picked up on the Storm Spirit, so he's now reached that point where he can confidently jump in these fights without worrying about all the lockdown coming through. That's the drawback of the Orchid of Malevolence, is it's a timing push item. You have to be able to capitalize and kill them before they get BKBs, because once they get BKBs, they laugh at your Orchid, so you're forced to use on the support hero instead, which, I mean, at the same time, is a pretty good thing. If you can pick off their Centaur Warrunner, if you can pick off their Visage with the Silence, they can't really do all too much. Bambi at least has his Visage Familiars, but Centaur Warrunner's just turned to a glorified melee creep. He can whack you, and that's about it. Ghoulie getting a lot of farm. He's been doing his best to maintain relevancy, but in terms of net worth, Recursion really is leading the way. Ball lightning coming out from Storm Spirit. He zips down immediately as Arab King bops his invisibility rune. No sentries, no dust. They weren't expecting that. Vengeful Spirit hanging around the background. Her swaps have been questionable. She tends to swap out her own hero instead of the enemy hero when they go in, which is a bit strange, but she's been making it work so far. The fact that you have that Vengeful Spirit as a defensive swapper makes it so hard to initiate and go on heroes like the Necrophos, like the Spectre. Spectre just picked up her match style, so she's going to output an absolutely ludicrous amount of damage. The fact that each of her illusions and haunt illusions receive Desolate as well as feedback means that if she focus fires a single target caught out on her own, they're eating a lot of damage from that Desolate, which is pure damage. Every single illusion is gaining an extra, what is it, 65 pure damage. So that's 130 pure damage coming out from her two illusions right-clicking your Desolates up, and an extra 20 for each of them for the diffusal feedback. That damage adds up extremely quickly. Ideally on Spectre, you want to build a Radiance just because it makes your illusions do that much more damage. It lets you farm faster. It gives you that AoE burn to force them to focus you. But going forward, that Diffusal Blade as well as the Man Style work just as well. Solo gank from Nature's Prophet over on 5200. I'm actually astounded he went down considering he has a BKB. He could have BKB'd, just Ball Lightning out, or even just TP'd out, unless Nature's Prophet didn't dealt enough damage to bring him down during that TP. Which it looks like he might. He's picked up a Desolator, so he's looking to transition to that DPS role. The greedy pickup, Nature's Prophet, really not punished by Bambi, as well as that Necrophos. They really should have started roaming their supports, rotating, going for kills, and securing them while they can, as Recursion went for very greedy builds early on, as well as a greedy draft, but it just wasn't punished enough by Bambi Rising, because of the fact that those early fights that they turned around with the Global Silence. Hey man, how you doing? So it looks like we got
Yeah, I
Radiant's
agree with
middle
that.
tower is under attack.
What you're saying,
That's
mate.
not gonna hold.
mid push coming. I was really surprised that
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
5200 went down to a solo gank from the Nature's Prophet. I don't really know what happened considering he had that BKB up. I don't think he even got a chance to use it, so...
Oh, right. Yeah, no, you can't. Or, some blood.
Ball Lightning as well as the Global Silence drops in. 5200 is caught out with very low mana. His BKB is gonna last him for a while, but without any mana. Epicenter as well as Blink Power Strike comes out. Sandking showing off his 10-second BKB. But in the back end, Spectre is able to kill everything that moves. Vengeful Spirit takes the fall. Crash drop, pops his BKB. He goes toe-to-toe with Kury. With the Familiars, Kury actually has the edge. Spectre doesn't do all too much damage. 1v1 if the Desolate, but never mind. He gets it with the Met Style Illusions. Will the Familiars be able to snipe him off? One goes down to the right click, and he snags it. Bambi snags it with the Familiar. Huge amount of gold coming up for him. That's going to help him build his Aghanim Scepter, but my god. Spectre was just able to completely tear through him. Once Rage wore off, those Desolate procs as well as the feedback turned to be that critical factor with the Manta Illusions. Kury really needs an Abyssal Blade just to enable him to go toe-to-toe with that Spectre. He was doing well during that Rage duration, but the instant it wore off, just couldn't quite cut it. And there you go, Aghanim Scepter immediately picked up by Bambi. He's going to say thanks for the gold. He now has 3 birds. 50% more stun, 50% more damage. He's very happy with that. I would like to see a BKB picked up on Nature's Prophet now, just because he's also serving as a secondary form of DPS. You've got almost a tricore lineup coming out from Recursion with Silencer outputting massive amounts of damage. Yeah, he's already almost got his BKB. Spectre is out down the front line, stabbing people, slicing through him, purging him. And then you got... Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Who are we saying was going to get a BKB?
Silencer. Sorry, Nature's Prophet should go for a BKB. Silencer almost has his.
He's got a ladder now, he's got a scythe, he's got a lot of damage on him. I for sure think, yeah, and he was going to be able to pick off those, the Visage pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, once he's picked up his BKB, he can maybe sell his Midas, pick up like a Daedalus, and he's a carry in his own right. I mean, he's leading the scoreboards in terms of net worth. The fact that he hasn't died this entire game is really indicative of the state of the game.
Yeah. No, he's been playing well, the Prophet. He's been, he's been pushing when he needs to, joining when he needs to as well. So he's good.
Looks like he's opted to go for Necrobook instead, so going for that push-orientated lineup. So with the Desolator and negative armor applying on buildings, as well as the Necrobook illusions, and the huge amount of attack speed he gets from the Orchid of Malevolence, a very effective split pusher. Just going to do a quick EXP and gold check. 15,000 EXP in favor of Recursion. And looks like 10,000 gold. How do you think Bambi Rising can turn this around at this point?
I would say just keep trying to do what they're doing in the sense of, Lifestealer bombs, pick-offs, things like that. But it's just, Recursion's life is so good at responding to them. You got the global... disrupt any initiation. You've got the Prophet can teleport and sheep someone easily.
Yep.
You've got the Spectre who, if you don't go on the Spectre, you can just, haunt and she's in everywhere. And then of course, I guess, even Necro, who doesn't offer much as the other ones, still has things like the mech and soon the light. So if you don't, so it's just, I have no idea. I mean, if they group up, they try and go for something, then
They get split pushed to
there's
death.
such a good counter that
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Rat could be the only thing that they could go for.
But the thing against Rat, though, is the fact that you have Haunt as well as Teleportation makes it so difficult.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If Bambi group up to go for these 5-man engagements, not only are they copying the global silence, Nature's Prophet can backdoor tower in the meantime. Spectre can be anywhere in the map and jump in with the Haunt.
So 5-man engagements are probably the only thing they've got that would... I mean, yeah, the pickoffs I'm not sure they'll work that well, so maybe just hang back, try and get as much farm as you can, and then in the fight, the BKB, and engage on the right targets, and just try, I guess. But
Definitely.
it's pretty grim.
We've got an Abyssal Blade picked up by Lifestealer, so that could be that critical item that'll enable him to bring down these heroes quickly.
Yeah, and because of coming, so I think I think they are kind of coming in on the sense that they want in the game sooner rather than later. They've got the advantage when they want to press it.
Definitely, that's the right way to
It's
play
gonna
this.
be a lot for them to break this pace.
But the issue that's so difficult is the fact that not only do you have the issue of who do you focus with both the Spectre and the Necrophos offering so much to the team, you also have the Vengeful Spirit who can always defensively swap out whatever hero you focus, making it that much harder. She can instantly sacrifice herself, saying, hey, take me instead, look at me.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Bambi, I wouldn't necessarily know what to do.
Yeah, it's a tricky
Suppose the
situation.
Recursion would make a crucial mistake and then they could punish it.
That could be true. I mean, they don't have an awful lot of push power coming out. Just because Bambi Rising have a lot of counter push, you've got that Caustic Finale, you have the Static Remnants being dropped by Storm Spirit.
Yeah, those Necros going to work though.
Yeah, they're already going to town on that. Necrobooks have been significantly nerfed in the latest patch. They now give 200 gold each if you kill them. So that is a huge drawback to them. Oh, Lucky Star right now, 5200. Cops a 600 pure damage, last word to the face.
I like Prophet coming in with the cheeky swing just for the Desolator debuff on the tower. You can see how much they took it down.
Yeah, that -7 armor really helps them break through.
And the tower's gone.
That slow siege coming out from them, the fact that they don't have any long-range ways to clear out the wave, because both Sandking has a Burrow Strike in, that puts himself at risk. The Centaur has to walk in and throw out that double edge, that puts him at risk as well. The fact that they have these 2 melee heroes instead of having 2 range heroes, like someone like Alina could throw out the LSA, the Dragon Slave. Really is holding this swap as well as the awkward. He needs to pop BKB. Stampede goes down. Global Silence. Vengeful Spirit is 4-staffed out of there. Arab King taking a lot of damage. Epicenter is wasted. Only goes on him. He's BKB. He doesn't care. Vengeful Spirit goes down. Necrophos Scythe flies out. Doesn't kill Centaur Warrunner. They're turning around. Sandman are making it work. Crash taking a lot of damage. He's able to turn around though and kill the nice Lifestealer. And in the background, Nature's Prophet doing so much damage. No one's even touched them. They're too busy trying to deal with Spectre as well as Necrophos. They can't even touch him. You see that power?
Didn't even blow the Aegis. I don't know what Spectre's doing. I think she should just push it.
Radiant's middle tower.
Or
has
maybe
fallen.
when they've got enough without her.
Yeah.
I mean, the Silencer,
Ball Lightning as well as the Familiars. But that Orchid Soul Assumption doesn't do too much. Soul Assumption's essentially negating these fights by that Death Pulse. We see Bambi doing some sick micro, drops all 3 birds, summons them, drops them all again, gives him 6 stuns, but he's gonna go down just from the Shaman. A right-click power coming out, eats the Spectral Dagger to the face. Nature's Prophet doing so much work.
yeah, I was going to say, because the Silencer in the last fight, he didn't think he just sat there and did some damage, which is what he should do. Nah, I
It is
think,
my duty to inform
I-
you. Radiant's middle barracks
I
have
don't want to
fallen.
call it, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to call GG, but this is looking like GG. Nice Bomb coming out with the Storm Spirit buyback as well as Lifestealer. Abyssal Blade, they get a critical kill on Nature's Prophet, but he has a buyback up. He has more gold than Bill Gates. He's more than happy with this. Crash is running for his life, but he has Aegis to the Immortal, so if he goes down, don't think they could kill him a second time. Maybe they can. This is for millions. He's called out with the open wounds. He goes down to the double edge. Vengeful Spirit hanging around, waiting for that swap.
Yeah.
Swap out immediately for Crash. He's still being pulled out. Pops out BKB. Global Silence drops again. Vengeful Spirit drops instantly. Crash turns around. Maybe he's a bit too cocky. Arab King hanging around, providing covering fire of those glaives. He's going to be that sacrifice. He goes down. Wrath of Nature flies out. Nature's Prophet's buying back. Sandking Epicenter, but whiffs. Doesn't hit anybody. Bit unfortunate.
Prophet goes.
And in the top lane, Rat Dota happening in the meantime.
Tower is under attack.
At least they forced them to TP.
Forces out the TPs, prevents any momentum that Bambi Rising could have had from being a push. We also have to keep in mind that the Tier 1 and Tier 2 are up in the bottom lanes. Only the middle lane they can push down. Makes it so hard for them to come back. As once they get racks, they have to push down those towers before they could approach the next wave of racks. In the meantime, you got the threat of Nature's Prophet making it an almost unwinnable situation. Once you're one racks down against Nature's Prophet, it's so hard to recover, just because you constantly have to be wary of the fact that he could TP in, summon trees, and start pushing your racks.
Yeah, Recursion's going to farm much faster than the Bambi, so I mean they may as well just wait for the next Roche, wait for Spectre to get that butterfly, and then just go in. You know, I'm sure we'll have an item or two.
Spectre looks like she's going for
Sales minus.
the butterfly. Stampede flows out. They go in. They're able to kill Necrophos.
They wasted a lot of spells on that.
I guess Stampede is such a low cooldown. It's okay to throw it out on one hero. I mean,
oh, it's still worth it for sure.
yeah. Bambi been doing great work with his Visage familiars. You saw in that fight, he dropped all 3 birds, microing them to make sure that the stun was staggered. Then he immediately resummoned them so he could drop all 3 of them again. Proved to be that critical factor, helped them get those 2 kills. Spectre unfortunately did get away with that swap. Yeah, that's definitely hard to do. I mean, the only player that could consistently pull that off in Dota 1 was King J back in 2008, back in 2009. Got a smoke gank coming out from Bambi Rising. Yeah. 5 years. It's hard to believe Dota 2's been out for so long now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people who played Dota 2 here have actually played Dota 1. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, it's definitely true to have a lot of players who have that like old school knowledge, because Dota 1, completely different game now. Dota 2 is so much easier to play, a lot more fluid. Some of the mechanics have been made easier to play, especially with heroes like Anti-Mage. In Dota 1, you had to make sure that every attack you did, you had to animation cancel if you want to maximize DPS. On Dota 2, he attacks so much faster with the faster frame rate that you don't even have to do that if you really don't want to.
Yeah, but I think it doesn't take away from the gameplay, like it's added as much as it's removed.
Yeah, and then you've got those interactions that only occur in Dota 2, like Elder Titan with Natural Order actually increasing magic damage it deals to creeps. So you had the Bulba build of 044, where you go for the Ancestral Spirit and the Nature's Order. And wow, huge amount of damage coming up from 5-200. He's completely burned out his mana pool though. Arab King pops his BKB, he says, let's fight. What you gonna do to me? Turns around and Bambi. Soul Assumption to the face with Visage. Bambi goes down. Horde is being dropped. Epicenter coming out from Kury. Hitting on 3. Ghoulie turns around. Kills Killer. Necrophos is down. Just Crash going 1v2 with the Familiars.
And they get back to top time.
They're able to kill Spectre, but in the top lane, Rat Dota coming out. This is some Sun Tzu level shit right here. You go for the buildings. You go for where the enemy is not. He's being zipped in. Stomped. Double-edged. Looks like he'll be going down. Storm Spirit, a great way to punish Nature's Prophet. You gotta kill the Necrobook images. No, never mind. They're gonna lose that Rax. So Nature's Prophet.
Worth it then. I mean, it's
Yeah,
team white, but
definitely. They can't capitalize on this push because all the lanes are pushed in. And you got 2 towers to push out in the bottom lane before you can even attempt to go for Rax. Bambi Rising in an almost unwinnable situation just through that share split push power coming out from Nature's Prophet. TP coming in, Vengeful Spirit's Alpha Blood, throws out the stun, Sandking a bit premature on that Sandstorm. If he waited until she threw out the stun, would have disjointed it. But now he's caught out in a bad place, turns around actually, goes in for the burst strike, blinks out. Bit of cheeky play coming out from Kury.
could have probably killed it there. I don't know.
Yeah, with the Caustic Finale, if you hit the creeps, you probably could have. But, I mean, Vengeful Spirit scales a bit better in terms of damage. She's only got 2 points up in that aura, though, which is interesting to note. She wanted to max out that Howl.
She scales almost like a carry.
Yeah, just because of the damage amplification coming out from it. If you do pick up like a single agility item like that Yasha, she actually can output a decent amount of damage. Necrophos looks like he's going for that Ayaskadi. He's already picked up the Orb of Venom. Great item on him. Gives him a snare so he can contribute that to team fights when the spells are down. Makes him a lot tankier, gives him all the stats he needs. He needs that HP to hang around. Needs that agility for the armor as well as the attack speed. And the intelligence means that he gets a few more death pulses off. Blade Mail picked up on Centaur Warrunner. Did see that when he went out Nature's Prophet. Good item pickup on him, however, it's mostly negated by all the BKBs they have on their primary damage dealers. Would like to see maybe something like a Heaven's Hellburn on them instead. Gives him a way to disable the Nature's Prophet. Forces him to go for that BKB. Because being disabled for 5 seconds, sorry, 4 to 5 seconds with that disarm from Heaven's Hellburn really cripples his power. Yule Scepter picked up by Sandking, giving him another reliable way to get rid of the silence if he's called out with that BKB. When you self-cycle on yourself, you immediately purge all buffs and debuffs. So if he orchids you, you simply cycle on yourself, gets rid of that silence. Great way to deal with heroes like Bloodseeker who have that Blood Rage if you're an intelligence hero. Ghoulie looks like he's building towards that. Assault Cuirass.
Really? Sorry, who's got the AC?
Uh,
Help out a lot.
Yeah, Lifestealer just picked up the AC. Really good item on him because it gives him armor, which is what Lifestealer sorely lacks. You see the
D-wards.
yeah, the dire side playing so patiently. Recursion, they've been fantastic with these wards. They make sure that Bambi don't see a goddamn thing. They're waiting until Roshan spawns. They're gonna go for Roshan. Grab the Aegis, grab the cheese this time. Give it on someone like the Nature's Prophet.
Engage on Bambi and try and rack Dota, get that last Rex.
Yeah, that's
No, they probably need to push it though. They can probably just wait it out.
because I mean they know that at this point their late game is secured. They know they scale far better into the late game than Bambi does.
Yeah, they're considering Roche and the they're sort of. I think they might be waiting for Roche for sure. It doesn't have too much longer left.
You see that Howl of Terror thrown out just to give a bit of vision.
Yeah.
One of the underrated aspects of that ability, it provides flying vision wherever you throw it, so it's a great way to prevent people from juking you out.
No, visions. I mean, a lot of these builds, yeah, they have that component which a lot of newer players don't realize, especially like the Storm Remnant, things like that.
Yeah, Static Remnant gives you flying
So
vision.
essential.
Incredibly handy ability. You got the Visage Familiars, which are flying, so they always give you that vision. Great way to spot out, especially heroes. If you're playing against Sandking and you're a and you have your Visage Familiars up, send them out through the trees in areas where Sandking players usually like to wait when they're about to channel their epicenter. If you get one hit off on him, he can't blink in, so that can completely waste his epicenter. If you catch him out, you could actually kill him just from the sheer amount of damage coming out from the Familiars. Really good way to make maximal use of your abilities.
Man, both these games have gone so long. Both teams have been playing really well.
Yeah, Recursion have been playing really patiently, maybe a bit passive, and they're kind of waiting for Bambi to make that final mistake. But at the same time,
Cider, I think.
yeah, if they could get this Roshan steal, they could perhaps turn this around.
Scared.
But Bambi Rising, they're playing scared for good reason. They're massively behind in items.
Fallen to the dire.
Aegis and Cheese. Zipping in perhaps a bit, zipping in on an illusion, wasting a lot of mana. 5200 hasn't been the best with his mana efficiency. He's overestimating how much money he has and underestimating how much it costs to zip in at certain distances. Really has hurt him in these fights.
I think Recursion should just push.
Yeah, at this point, Recursion should just walk in. Take the racks. There's no way that Bambi can really defend against this with all their BKBs up, with all their ultimates up. And with Spectre as farmed as she is, as well as Nature's Prophet, it's very difficult for them to lose the game at this point. But you gotta hand it to the boys from Bambi. They don't roll over and play dead. They're sticking it through. They haven't called GG.
Yeah, done well.
Despite the... Oh, the XP lead's actually starting to even out now, I guess, as the heroes on the dice side start to cap out. Nature's Prophet's level 25. I think Spectre is as well. Spectre's level 24. In terms of gold lead, though, 12,000 lead in favor of the dire side. Keep in mind that some of that is comprised of Midases and buybacks, so that's essentially wasted gold at this point. Nature's Prophet going for that MKB. Gonna make him so much harder.
They're definitely thinking about pushing it in soon, I think.
You got top and bot, which are automatically pushing with those super creeps. Now you got the bottom lane, which is starting to group up towards and push out. You see them stealing the Ancients.
Can't do anything.
Yeah, Bambi are forced to stick together as 5. They can't get picked off. This is the beauty of Recursion's draft. They can spread out and play it safe. They can play greedy just because they have such global presence that if one of them gets jumped, they can usually react in time. They're smoke ganking in through middle. This is a fantastic play. They're actually going to split the fight. This could be a game right here. Shadow Shaman, Storm Spirit, as well as Kury, caught way out of position, forced to play at BKB. Zip zaps on out there. Centaur Warrunner runs in. BKB, Epicenter, Blink from Bow Strike from Kury. Necrophos ult brings down the Centaur Warrunner. How is Storm Spirit still alive? He manages to get a kill. Bambi the Retired Unicorn turning around, gets a kill to Familiars. Fantastic play coming from Bambi. How are they holding this? Spectre's going 1v4 right now. Eats a soul assumption to face. Duking it out with Kury, but Kury's standing tall. Without that desolate damage, not enough damage to bring him down.
That's what I wanted.
Structures off.
Bottom lane, however, Rat Dota,
No.
that fortification drives him off.
Big left.
That glyph just barely saves Bambi. Bambi turned around a huge fight. Forced to pop 2 buybacks for that, however, but they're more than happy to take that. That's 4 heroes down. If they could kill Nature's Prophet and force out and waste his buyback, they could perhaps...
Recursion was obviously going for some sort of kamikaze
Radiant's
play where
bottom
like
barracks
they,
are under attack.
Nature's Prophet never had the intention of going into that fight. He
Mm.
just went for the Rex. So they must be getting a bit worried as well. I mean, they had an Aegis that fight.
Yeah, they lost with that Aegis. Yeah, I believe Storm Spirit and I think Storm Spirit went down but brought back. I just have to double check. Actually, is his buyback up?
This could potentially be a YOLO pick.
No, it was only the Centaur Warrunner that brought back.
Jeez.
5200, playing some fantastic Storm Spirit, disjoining Death, able to hang around, provide that damage.
They can't go buyback either. They can push this for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but the issue with that is you have to keep in mind Nature's Prophet. He's not going to defend. He's just going to go for the jugular. And you see that he's doing that right now over in the bottom lane.
He's already there. Shit. He's playing pretty good.
Yeah, he's played a fantastic right Dota. Stampede, Hex over on Storm, on Silencer. Sorry, he pops his BKB. It's swapped out, but he's going to go down. No global silence up. Vengeful Spirit goes down to the Soul Assumption. Centaur Warrunner goes down to the Necrophos ultimate. Abyssal bladed up. Pop that Death Pulse, but he's going to go down. 5200's out of mana. They're actually able to drive off the next Prophet. Never mind, he turns around. He actually kills Kury. He's going to kill Bambi as well. That's megas up for them. Actually, Bambi might be able to turn this around. He needs one more right click. No, he doesn't have vision. He's feeling pretty unimpressed with that. He wanted to have those familiars there, but he needed them for that fight. And looks like that's game. Mega creeps with your 3 cores down. Just Ghoulie that's still alive.
Admirable. It was very admirable of Bambi to, try that first, but the put was just too much of a rat. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and that's GG called. Great plays coming up from Bambi. They're saying, even though we're down, we're not out. We're going to have to make you fight for it. And I have to dig it out of us. Great plays coming up from both sides. 37 to 39. Very even game. But GG, well played, called out. And that looks like game. Recursion take a 2-0 series up against Bambi Rising. Just going to take a quick break right now. Give Bambi Rising some time to rest up because they've got their best of 2 series up against 4 Horsemen of Ruckus coming up soon. 49 signing out temporarily. Thanks for joining me, Brightside.
So good. Cheers.